most things in the world fall into this great big category called not my problem. So, you know what? I'm no longer going to exert my energy over things that are not for me to control. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Starve the Demon, Recovery by Any Means Necessary. It's Jenna, your favorite demon starver. And I am on my way actually to a meeting. So today we're going to talk about step 3. Doesn't matter if it's AA, NA, whatever 12-step program that you're working, any group that ends in A uses the same 12 steps, the same spiritual principles. The third step is made a decision to turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understand Him. So in step 1, admitted that we were powerless over our addiction. We're powerless over our problem, whatever that is. That spiritual principle is honesty. And in the second step, we come to believe that a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity. And that spiritual principle is hope. So in step 3, we make a decision to turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understand Him. And the spiritual principle assigned to that is faith. I realize that step 1, we admit that we're powerless over our problem. And in step 3, we admit that we're powerless over everything else. And that is so freeing. Step 3 is the first action steps, the first step that actually asks us to do something. And what we do is we surrender. We stop fighting. I know for a lot of people, especially men, the idea of surrender, you never surrender, you never give up, right? Not that. It's just stop fighting. It's to realize you can't win. And that's okay. You don't have to win. Your higher power is going to win for you. And that is very freeing. Some people will tell you, and I have myself told people, that all you got to do in step 3 is make a decision. And the rest of the steps are how you actually do that. We'll get into that when we get into those steps. But step 3, if you make this decision, right, there's the frog on the log joke. There's 3 frogs sitting on the log. One of them decides to jump off of the log. How many frogs are left on the log? 3. Because all he did was make a decision. He didn't actually do anything. You can decide that you're going to go on vacation this year, but if you don't put the money away, you don't take the time off from work, you don't get an itinerary together, you don't buy the tickets, all you've done is decide you're going to take a vacation. That's not going to get the vacation taken. We say, you know what? I am powerless over everything. I can't make a tree. I can't make it rain. I can't make the sun rise. I can be mad because I want the sky to be purple, but it's blue. And I can kick and scream and be mad, and guess what? Sky's still going to be blue. Giving up trying to be the director of our lives when clearly our best ideas probably got us into jails, institutions, and death. We realize that we don't have the answers. And if we are self-will run riot, we're selfish, we're self-seeking, we're self-centered, and the decisions that we make, the choices that we make, the actions that we take are leading us into bad places that maybe turning our will over to the care of a higher power and living our life in such a way that we know right from wrong. And we're doing the next right thing, and we're living by spiritual principles. We're making our choices based on those things. We are going to have better outcomes. That's the point of step 3. We really don't know what's best for us. Our first thought's wrong. First thought wrong. Whatever I want to think and say and do is probably the wrong thing. I'm going to pray and ask what God's will is. And I'm going to meditate and listen for the answer. And if I'm not sure, I'm going to ask myself if the thing that I think I want to do goes against any of my spiritual principles. So far, we have honesty, hope, and faith. Then it's not the right thing. It's not what my higher power loves me and wants what's best for me. It's not the choice or decision or action they would want me to take. We figure out that most things in the world fall into this great big category called not my problem. right? So it's very easy to, you know what? I have no control over that. So that's not where I'm going to exert my energy. I'm no longer going to exert my energy over things that are not for me to control. What other people say, what other people think, what other people do, I have no control over that. I only have control over my actions and my responses to other things that happen, right? So in step 3, we ask our higher power to relieve us of the selfishness, self-seeking, self-centeredness. We ask our higher power to guide our steps and our thoughts, our actions, our speech. We start praying about everything. Everything. Is this the job I should take? Is this the person I should date? Should I move? Should I get this job? Should I, whatever it is, say a prayer. Pray in the morning, pray in the evening, meditate. I promise you, do that for 90 days and see if your life doesn't get better. See if you don't get a little more clarity in how you should be running your life. And realize that you're not running it. You're not running nothing, right? God's going to have his way. And you can kick and scream and whine and cry and protest and rebel. And guess what? The sky's still going to be blue. And the grass is still going to be green. And whether or not you ever get off that log is not going to change those things. And ask yourself, what is it that you're surrendering? In step 1, we surrendered to the idea that we are powerless over our addiction. We surrendered that addiction, right? Well, in step 3, we surrender the control. We surrender trying to control everything. We surrender the selfishness, the self-seeking. We ask God to do with us what he will, to make us be the best person that we can be, to have his guidance in our choices in our life. All you have to do is make a decision, but that decision determines the rest of your life. And all the other steps are how you put that decision into action. So that's what step 3 is about. Surrender your will and your life to the care of your higher power, whatever that looks like for you. And stop trying to be the director. Stop trying to control the people around you. Stop trying to control events. Stop trying to control outcomes, and recognize that you don't have control over those things, and free yourself from that need for that control. Because all that does is cause stress and heartache. Well, I wanted him to say this, and I wanted this to happen, and now I'm frustrated because I didn't get what I wanted. Well, you only wanted that because you felt like you had some control over that. When you tell people the truth, and they're going to respond how they respond. If you're telling somebody something they want to hear because you're trying to control the outcome, you're trying to control their emotions and their feelings, that's not being honest. It is my experience that if I make my decisions based on rational thought versus irrational emotion, I have better outcomes. If I pray before I make a decision, if I meditate and not rashly just go off half cocks because I want something to be a certain way, I have better outcomes. Please, if you get value out of this content, like it, share it, comment on it. Let me know what you think. I really do want to know. I'm always looking for advice, critique. If you have a different opinion or something that you'd like to add, please let me know. Leave it down in the comments or send me an email. I'm setting up my website right now, so that's going to hit the scene here very soon, as well as my TikTok shop, so you guys can buy some cool Starve the Demon merchandise. I'm going to have t-shirts, journals, maybe some coffee mugs. So like, share, comment, tell your friends if you still have any. Just keep coming back. I'm going to keep coming back. Love everybody. Like God, sir.